What about now? Do you guys have audio now? Well, that's embarrassing. Let's see. Is it working now? Is it working? Ah, there you go. It would help if the mic was on. I'm just saying, right? So I'm gonna try that again. I am in beautiful Seattle, Washington. It's gray right now, but it's still beautiful. I would like to know where you guys are from. Where in this world are you right now? And let me know how you're feeling. So glad to see you. Welcome, Curly Locks, D Johnson. Hey, Latoya. Simply Gorgeous Glow. Nene, welcome. Is it Nene or Nene? Nene? Nene. Welcome, Shantae, Brandy, Curly Locks. Welcome, you guys. So I am ready to get this party started. Curly Locks is over there in Alabama. Welcome. Hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's. Nashville, Tennessee. I heard Nashville is a great place to visit. I have never been. For the longest, it was never me. Got it. It's never on my list of places to go, but a lot of people are telling me that's a place I definitely have to visit. So yes, I think I'm gonna add that to my list. With that being said, with my little mic issues, I think it's time to get started. Brandy's over in the DMV. We have Mississippi. We have Chicago in the house. Awesome. So we're gonna get this started because I like making these short and sweet and to the point, so you can actually go and utilize this knowledge right as soon as we're done, or at least start gathering the things that you need in order to get started. So with that being said, we're going to talk about today 5 tips for high quality product photos on a budget, because I know when I started my business, I did not have the money to buy all these amazing things. And unfortunately, social media makes it seem like in order to have a successful product, brand, or whatever, that you actually need to, how should I say it? You need to purchase a lot of stuff. And you don't have to purchase a lot of stuff in order to make it happen. So I'm going to share with you guys exactly what I did when I first started my website. So in the beginning, as I mentioned on Instagram Live, if you're able to catch that a few minutes ago, I started with a website called Big Cartel. At the very beginning, I only had the website for maybe like 2 weeks while I was doing my Shopify website and getting that ready. Whoops. And everyone asked me, where did you get your website? Who did your website? It's so amazing. It was a simple website. I had the free version in the very beginning, and then I was only paying like $10 a month. And what's made it stand out were my product photos. And I didn't have I think I had an iPhone 10 at the time. I didn't have an expensive Latoya. Okay. Oh, wait, wrong one. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. One, because I had a vision and a dream, and I know I needed to make something happen. I was too broke to buy anything else. So we are going to make it happen with what I had. So first of all, we're going to start with the importance. When somebody comes to your website, people have the attention spans of a pea pod, okay? Their attention spans are so short. If you're not able to catch their eye from the beginning, then they're going to leave that website. It doesn't matter. You need to draw them in. And if I go to a website, even myself personally, and I see that the pictures there's no consistency to the pictures, the colors are off, I'm not intrigued. Half the time I can't even tell what you're trying to sell because you have so many other things in the background. It does not work. It does not work for a brand. It doesn't help for a website. If you look at any big brand's website, they are focused on the product. So these shiny, glittery backgrounds and these unnecessary props, we don't want to talk about that. What it says about your business, it says that there's no strategic marketing plan within my business. It's showing me that I really don't know what I want to accomplish or what I want you to show. Like, I just put my pictures up because I'm supposed to have pictures on my website. That's what it's giving. And we don't want it to give that. We want to give that I know where my brand is. I know where my brand wants to be. I am confident in what I'm offering you, and I'm here to showcase that to you in a beautiful way. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing, you need a background, you guys. And we're going to talk about just website photos. For a website photo, as you're starting out, and if you look at most products, a plain white background is golden. You don't need to have all these extravagant backgrounds and props or lifestyle photos in your main product picture. You just need a white background. That could be so much as a poster board, those white rolls, the sheets of paper. You can get them at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, anything like that. Foam board, like the white foam board. White foam board is good because it actually absorbs light absorbs light, the pieces of paper can sometimes be too thin, or like the white butcher paper works really well. I used a white sheet before. I just steamed out the white sheet and actually put it was a black board behind it so that I didn't get the reflections through it or the light shining through it. And that worked amazing. Super cheap. It was things that I had on hand. I also had a light box in the beginning. It's one that I used previously. So if you look back in some of my Instagrams, you'll see that I use this box. It's not necessary, and I actually steer away, and I don't use those boxes at all anymore. I feel it really confines and restricts what I'm able to do with my photos, whether it's my top-up photos or my different angles. So I actually stopped using those. So don't assume that you need a light box in order to get your pictures correct. Yes, it's sometimes if you get the really big ones, it makes things easier. But then at that point, that's why I like the poster board or the craft paper. Sometimes you use clips. I used hair clips, the little claw clips. I had that piece of board. I claw clipped them with hair ties to the back, and I rolled it out, and my product was right there in the middle. So super simple, cost me no additional money. I used what I had on hand because I did have poster board. And if you don't have it on hand, you can get poster board for $3, $4, $5, $6. Or if you go to the dollar store, you can get the white pieces of poster board at the dollar store. I don't even know how much they are, but they're not that much. One thing you want to do is avoid distracting backgrounds. So I've seen people put sequin backgrounds, or you can do bright colors if you want. It really depends, but a nice white or even a cream, a tan background, depending on the visual that you're trying to achieve, is all you really need. The next thing we have is lighting, you guys. No, you don't have to go out and purchase a bunch of lighting. If you happen to have a ring light, great. But sometimes having lighting and only having like one light can do you a disservice if you're trying to achieve a certain picture. I highly recommend natural light. Go by a window. If you're someplace where the sun can get really harsh at noon, you might want to wait till evening or even that morning sun, or use that harsh natural light to your advantage and create shadows. So I know we've seen these pictures where the shadow's kind of off to the side of the picture. You can do that, but also I'm going to tell you how you can recreate that. So if you just want to get a nice straight on picture, having natural light is really good. If the light's too harsh, sometimes you could put a sheet, or they call them light diffusers. I can't remember the name of it, but even if you put a sheet on the window or a thin piece of what is the name of that paper? Almost like tissue paper. It's almost like tissue paper, but in light version, and put it on the window so you don't get those harsh shadows. So very simple and easy with that. Now, if you wanted to get technical with it, you can use the lighting and like I said, the harsh shadows to your advantage. If that's the image that you're trying to create within your picture, use what you have, but try your best to remain consistent. If you're taking pictures and you're using that shadow, you're going to have to work pretty fast if you have a bunch of photos, because the picture will start to get inconsistent as the sun moves. The next thing, props. I honestly, for website product photos, especially if you're just starting out and you just want to save money, no props. And if you do need props, dollar store, Goodwill, I have bins and bins of props. And this is why I say don't spend a lot of money on props. You do the props a handful of times, and I literally just have bins of props just sitting there. So don't worry about spending too much money. I actually found, if you look at my website pictures now, there's like some greenery behind it. I found these things at Hobby Lobby, and those have been like my go-to out of all the props that I purchased. It's been very consistent. I use that same greenery kind of in all my product photos now. I did not start off with product photos that had the greenery in the background. I started off with just the white product photos, which worked amazing for my website. Just with my rebranding, I added it. So you do not need the props in order to have a quality website. It's nice, but not necessary. Do not go out thinking you have to spend a lot of money on props to have a beautiful website in photography. The last thing is your camera, you guys, your camera. So we said, what were our 5 tips? We said background, we said lighting, we said props, we said camera, and then we'll have one more, right? So with the camera, no, you do not need to purchase an expensive camera. Don't let anybody tell you need to purchase an expensive camera. Your phone will do just fine. Our phones are amazing what they can handle and what they can do. The higher the megapixels, the better, obviously. But what's great is there's some apps that really can help, even if you don't have a phone that has high resolution, you can still make it work in your favor. And a lot of that is creating a story. So let's say you have something that's not as crisp and fresh. Maybe you create a vintage look within your product photos. And of course, you want to stay on marketing, on branding, but use what you have on hand. Some of the things you can do to help with your phone is once you find the right settings, you want to lock those settings in there. So every time you take a new picture or you go out of your camera, you're not having to reset the settings. Something as simple as knowing when you tap the screen on an iPhone, that little sun thing, you can change the brightness right from there. You can lock it into place. Highly, highly, highly recommend a tripod or at least some sort of positioning tool so that you know where you're holding the camera, because nothing's worse than when I see product photos when one product's like really close and the other one's far back. You want to try to keep some consistency within the depth of your photos that you're taking. So a mini tripod will work. I honestly don't even use a tripod. What I'll do is I'll mark on my whiteboard where the product sits, and then I'll also mark on my whiteboard or my paper where I hold my phone. And I'll hold my phone in the exact same position every single time I take the picture. So I didn't even purchase and I still don't have a tripod for my product photos. And all the ones on my website right now I've taken all my product websites. The only ones I did not take are some of my lifestyle photos that I post on Instagram. And Christina took most of those. She's Creative Solutions LLC. On Instagram, she's taken most of my photos. So the higher pixels, the better, but you do not need fancy equipment. You don't need a DLR camera. You don't need any of that to get quality pictures. The last one, and this right here has saved the day, the apps. If you don't have a good app to go along with everything else, not saying it's all for nothing, but this is how you really step it up and provide those high quality pictures. My favorite app, actually take it back. I have two really favorite apps. The first one is Pixelcut, Pixelcut, Pixelcut. That's the app that I use to remove my background, and it removes the stuff so quick. Like there's no thinking involved. It's probably the smoothest, easiest app. You can actually add shadows on that as well. So if you wanted to add a shadow, and the shadow will be in the same place every time. So sometimes having a straight on picture with just a white background can be a little bit boring. To bring the picture to life a little bit, adding those shadows, and you can adjust where the shadow's at within the picture, and you're done. Beautiful. The other one that I love is Lightroom, you guys. Adobe Lightroom is just a gem. One thing I will highly recommend, even though Lightroom is free, I personally bit the bullet and I purchased the app. And I do not like purchasing apps. And I feel it's one of the best purchases that I made. So out of all of these things, the only thing you might really have to purchase is the Lightroom app. And here's why. The Lightroom app actually has preset filters already built into it. So if you click preset, it'll scan your photo and it'll give you a list of preset filters that you can use on your photos, and pick the one that works best for you and your brand and whatever the vision you're trying to give. But the beautiful thing about this, you can then copy that preset and place it on every single product photo. So all your product photos are consistent. Like I'm not going in there and adjusting every single picture. Within Lightroom, right there on my phone, laying on my couch, I was able to adjust the filters and add them to all of the photos. So I usually put it in Lightroom first, and then once the photo is adjusted, I will then put it into Pixelcut, remove the background. I have my white background, add my shadow, upload it, and then I'm done. That's simple, you guys. The other one I would say is Canva. Canva's really good. I still don't really use the background removal tool as much in Canva. I think Pixelcut's background removal tool is just like top notch. It's one of my favorites. So I still stick to that. And actually Pixelcut, I think I ended up paying for Pixelcut as well. But both of them were well worth the purchase. I don't remember how much they were off the bat, but it wasn't much. And what they did for my website and my pictures, high class. Lightroom, one of the things you can also do, there are some times where I've taken pictures, and before you take a picture, you really want to try your best to clean off your materials, clean off your jars, make sure your labels are straight, make sure there are no scratches or anything like that. But in the event you do take all your pictures and you realize that there may be a scratch or two, something like that, instead of going back, creating your setup again, Lightroom gives you the option, gives you scratches, adjust colors, things like that. Oh, here's another tip. Avoid changing colors too much. So a lot of times we'll get overboard with the filters, especially if you're selling clothes, or like I have these vessels back here. When I go and I adjust the pictures for these for the website, I am going to try my best to stay true to color. You don't want to change the color of your products too much, because if somebody gets these vessels and it's really far off from what they've seen on the website, people are going to be a little bit disappointed with it, or a lot of it. Let's talk about, I would be really upset if I received something the color was far off, because you're trying to make your pictures look pretty and adjusting the colors within the editing too much. So with that being said, we have your background. All you need is a foam board, a piece of butcher paper, a poster board, a sheet if you have it. If you don't have any of those, you have a white sheet and you put something behind it, golden. Lighting, use your natural lighting. You don't need to go and buy a ring light and all these other lightings. They have the key standard of lighting where you have your 3 lights, your backlight, your key light, your fill light, all of that. Don't worry about that. Use the natural light by the window. If you need to block out some of the harsh light, putting an extra sheet, or I don't remember the name of the paper, but something on the window that the light can still come through, but makes the light not as harsh. If you are using the sun as the shadows, make sure that you move quick, because that sun's going to move and your pictures will be inconsistent. Next thing, props. Avoid too many props. We're going to go right back into that white background. That's what we want. We want just a smooth, clean, white background. Camera, do not go and purchase an extra camera. One of the things that I will tell myself, let's say you really want a new camera. One of the tricks that I do with myself is, like, if I use the current tool that I have consistently, I've earned the right to purchase something else. For example, right now, I personally want more lighting for when I do these YouTube videos. I was like, Jasmine, you need to be a little bit more consistent with your videos before you've earned that extra lighting. It's just staying on a budget and not going out and purchasing everything you see everyone else uses because you think that's what you need to be successful. Not the case. And then apps, Pixel Cut and Lightroom, hands down, amazing apps. Download them. Play with the free version for a while. Don't take my word for it. And then if you feel that, you know what, I want to purchase these, go ahead and purchase them. But hands down, 2 of the best purchases that I made for an app in a really long time. So there we go. With that being said, that was 5 tips for high quality products, high quality product photos on a budget. Do you guys have any questions? Did you guys enjoy this information? Was it helpful? If it was helpful to you, on Thursday, I will actually be doing a class in the Academy where I am going to go through and actually take product photos. So you guys will be able to work with me and see everything, the setup, how I do it. I'll walk you through Lightroom, Pixel Cut. We will do everything together. If you're interested in signing up for the Academy, you just go to the Blk Sunflower Academy Instagram page and DM the word trial, TRIAL, no quotations or anything, just the word trial. And with that, you will get access to the free 3-day trial to see if this is something that works for you. Yes, definitely go and practice, you guys, because I promise you it works. And you'll be like, you know what, this was so easy. You may have been thinking, I want to, hey, Carmelita. You may be thinking that, oh my gosh, I have to spend all this money, hire a photographer. Don't do it. Don't do it. The only time I hire a photographer is for my lifestyle photos. And even with that, you really don't need it. I'll actually show you guys some tips and tricks with props and things that I work out. And if you do want props, remember, Goodwill, dollar store, go into your garage. I actually went to Goodwill and purchased a bunch of things, and I spray painted them all black because I wanted everything to be completely just black. Have you ever brought backgrounds from Amazon? I have not. Here's a tip. If you go into like Home Depot, and where they have the tile backsplashes, the walls, every Home Depot has a clearance section that has old vinyl, old tiles, things like that. Go and get those things. You can create backgrounds from that. They have those stick-on backsplashes, which are pretty cheap. I mean, take a corner of your kitchen. If you're doing like a lot of kitchen pictures, appliances, or whatever, you just want to use your kitchen, put up one of those adhesive fake backgrounds. I feel it gives a little bit more of a realistic vibe, especially if you're doing lifestyle photos, but think outside the box. You don't necessarily have to go straight to Amazon and purchase these backgrounds. If you want, cool. But I found a lot of really cool things in clearance sections at hardware stores, granite stores. They have like old tiles of slab that they don't use, getting chunks of those slabs and adding them into your props. You have all three. Per photo room is really good with removing and added backgrounds. I haven't used that one, so here's another tip. Dalton said photo room is another good one, so definitely check that out. I'm going to check that out as well because I definitely love to give options. Do they have background for lives? Actually, you can create. You mean like YouTube lives? You can create those in like Canva if that's what you mean. I think that's what you might be saying. But yeah, you can create those in Canva and actually throw them up. Dollar Tree has a lot of backsplash. Yes, they do. I went to Dollar Tree and they had a whole section of backsplash, like the little adhesive backsplash stuff. Yes, I've seen those as well. And so, yes, there are a lot of different options that you can do that you don't have to spend money. So I guess the main thing I want you guys to get from this live is that social media is fake. Social media is fake. And it is not necessary to spend a bunch of money to be successful. I'm going to say it over and over again. I started my business. I maybe had $500 in my bank account when I started my business. I did the free trial on Shopify. Nope, I take it back. Started off with Big Cartel. My website was $10. Did the free trial on Shopify. Started my website. I already had the candles, so I used candles that I already had on hand. I did pre-orders. So think outside the box, you guys. Don't automatically go out there and just start spending money and put yourself so far in the hole before you get your business up and running. You are able to make things happen with what you have on hand. We are creative. We are innovative. Look around, find these resources and utilize them. So with that being said, one more time, do you guys have any more questions? And I'm going to get out because I have a bunch more candles to make. What else do I have? I have some diffusers to make. Anybody who purchased those diffusers pre-order for January, those are in. Other than that, you can see me right here tomorrow on YouTube Live. I'll be meeting with my friend Nick, and we're going to talk about how networking actually revitalized his business. He was about to shut down and stop doing his business. He went out on a limb. We met at a network or a speaking engagement that I was hosting, or that I wasn't hosting, that I was speaking at. And from there, his business has taken on a whole new life of its own. So if you feel like you're going to give up on your business, just come back, come tomorrow, and we're going to talk about some things to help you kind of get your business back in motion and get it flowing again. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And for that, I am thankful. Be sure to, if you need to reread or re-listen, hey Nicole, re-listen to what we have going on here, and try it out today. Like, I would love to, if you guys test some stuff out, post them on your stories, tag me in it. Like, I would love to see what you guys accomplish, what you guys are able to figure out and make happen. And then yes, tag me. I want to see these things. I wish you the best of luck. I know you guys can do it, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Peace.